This is Bruce Boudreau, head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, and it's time for Clay's Canucks commentary live. Let's go with Clay right now.
Hello, friends, and welcome. Welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. And if you can hear me properly, that means we are already ahead of where we were yesterday. If you were with me yesterday, a very adventurous night to say the least. I think I had every single type of technical breakdown possible, but I told you I would be better, and I think that I am better. So if you can hear me properly today, and it doesn't sound like I'm talking like I'm a robot or I'm talking through, some sort of voice distorter, then that means we are in a better space than yesterday. And thanks to all of you who are over here from Canucks After Dark. Had a really great show with Parker. Yeah, because we used to go about 65 minutes. Now we're shorting it down to about 55, 57 minutes. It's a little bit tighter, but Parker always gracious in, he could why would he do this? But he could actually go over if he wanted to and then make me a lot later. But no, we're good. We're pals. He's been so supportive on this, and we're looking forward to creating great content on Canucks After Dark as well, just as I want to do right here. And before I get going, I want to acknowledge this wonderful comment from Lucas and his $5 donation, getting us going right away. It says, from Canucks After Dark to CCC, Clay's Canucks commentary, just like that, seamless. Yes, trying to be as seamless as we can, but me and seamless usually not mentioned in the same sentence, considering what happened yesterday. But thank you, Lucas. I appreciate your support as always, and let's give Lucas some love in the chat. Right away, shout out to my moderators. Thank you in advance. Shout out to my members, who I'll name some of you at the end. Thanks to you, and thanks, of course, to all of you, no matter where you're watching from, whether you're in my beautiful neighborhood in Steveston and Richmond, in the city, Lower Mainland, province, country, continent, or around the world. Thank you for being here. I know that you could be watching anything else, doing anything else, but the fact that you're here with me tonight at 11 p.m. on a weeknight, I appreciate you, and I do not take you for granted. So like the video. Only 5 likes so far, but there's 50 of you in here. That's not the best ratio, so bump that up. I appreciate you. And whether you're watching on YouTube live, watching on YouTube afterwards, or listening on your favorite podcast platform, I appreciate you that way as well. And if you're listening on a podcast, don't forget to rate and review as well. As always, I will start off. I will talk for the first 10 to 15 minutes or so. Then when I do my mid-show sponsor read, that will be your cue to put in questions. So you might put in questions like right now, like Harry did. And love you, Harry, but I will not be... Actually, I won't answer your second question, but I will be talking about this question for my first 10 to 15 minutes. But let me first acknowledge Adam's donation. Thank you. I think that's the first time you've donated, Adam. If so, thank you. Very generous of you. If not, still appreciate you. And Anula, I have not seen you in the longest time. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the wave. And Adam says, love the new format and show. Thank you. Trying to step things up a little bit, especially as we get ready for a big season. So for those of you that are new, welcome. I talk for the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll turn it over to you for the last 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I am indeed going to talk about the Jake Milford tournament. So allow me to please share some of my experiences. The Jake Milford Charity Classic is the annual golf tournament. It really signals the start of the Canucks season, and they raise money for wonderful causes. In the past, the Canucks Autism Network were one of the beneficiaries, and this year, once again, it was Canucks Kids for Fun, Canucks Fun for Kids, not Kids for Fund. The Canucks Fun for Kids and the Canucks Alumni Initiatives. I think those were the two beneficiaries today. And this was the first time that we've done the proper Jake Milford tournament since 2019. In 2020, it was canceled because of COVID. And in 2021, they had a skeleton Milford, where no Canucks players played because of COVID. So it was sponsors, alumni, and broadcasters. Still very important, a great chance to get together. But really for this one, this was the first one that we've had all the players since 2019. So I want to tell you about my experience, and then a few funny little stories to share with you. And then I'll turn it over to you, and you can comment on some of those things or ask me any questions you want. But this is some pretty funny stuff that I want to share with you, and I've been looking forward to sharing with you all day. So this is my 6th year volunteering. Actually, the first time I was at the Milford as part of my season ticket perks, we won a lottery, and my son Sean, as a 14-year-old back in 2015, yes, as a 14-year-old, he caddied for a then 19-year-old Bo Horvat. So that was cool that Sean was caddying for a future captain of the Vancouver Canucks. And then from 2016, 17, 18, 19, I volunteered. 20, there was no tourney. And then 21, I volunteered as well. I'm just looking at one of High T's comments, but I should probably stay focused. So my job today, I had 2 jobs. My first job was as a bag drop guy. So golfers, players, coaches, it's players, it's coaches, it's alumni, it's sponsors, broadcasters too. So people would drop off their bags. Someone else would say, "Hey, Quinn Hughes," they wouldn't say Quinn Hughes. "What's your name?" He would say Quinn Hughes. They find Quinn Hughes sticker and they slam it on the bag. Then my job was with others was to take that bag, sling it over my shoulder, and then run it to one of the golf carts, strap it in, and then they are ready to go for their round. They get breakfast, they register today. There's like, I think Alvin and Rutherford hosted a kind of a Q&A for the fans, and then most golfers arrive between 8 and 10 in the morning. So I was up at 5:30 to get out of my house by 6 to get to the golf course by 7. And then once I was there, orientation, ready to go at 8. And that job took about 2.5 hours, 3 hours. 8 to 11, we were receiving golfers. So I can tell you what I did, and then I'll tell you about all the funny stories. And then that was the first half. Then from 12 to 5, I was at Northview, where it was. They have two courses there, Canal and Ridge. And I was at Canal side on the 8th hole, and if you saw my tweets or my Instagram, basically they had a golf cannon there that shoots the golf ball 250 yards. But we made it more fun than that, because it's boring just to shoot a golf ball like with a cannon down the middle. So what we did is a foursome would come up, we would sell, and there's a guy there who owns the cannon. He would explain all this, and I got to take money and meet all the players and so on and so forth. So for $70, 70, the foursome gets to hit. They get to shoot the cannon. They each get to shoot the cannon one time. And there was a series of targets about 100 yards out from us. So it's a 500-yard hole or 450-yard hole as a par 5. But 100 yards down, or maybe 75 yards down, there's this big cage. And there's a picture of a bear, there's a picture of a bird, and then an actual, like a gong or a gong there. So remember, 4 shots for $70. If you hit the bear first, which is the biggest target with the cannon, with the golf ball, then you get to move your ball for your second shot 75 yards away from the green. If a second person hits the bear with their shot, then you get to move your golf ball to the green 20 feet away. Then if your third guy hits the albatross, meaning 3 under, then you get to move your ball 6 feet away. And then if someone then hits the gong with the 4th shot, then you get an automatic 2. On a par 5, you get a 2, which is a true albatross. So needless to say, there are a couple of groups that miss completely everything, but most groups either hit the bear once or twice. So they're either moving up on the fairway or moving to the green. And we had 5 or 6 groups then actually hit the albatross. So they got to go to within 6 feet of the hole. No one hit the gong. And so no one got an automatic 2, but some of those guys made their 6-foot putt. So all to say, that was my job. Is Mike would explain the whole thing, then I would collect their money, use the debit machine, and then I would just talk to the players and talk to the golfers. So wonderful day. Basically, I was there at Northview from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., 11 hours in the sun, Came home, was tired, took a quick nap, almost slept through Canucks After Dark. Thank God, my lovely wife Gail woke me up. But now I'm energized because I'm looking forward to the show, and I want to tell you about what I did. So this is what I want to share with you. So give me a few minutes to explain all this, and then I will explain. I'll tell you. I'll go to your questions. But what was really cool is the first observation is because there wasn't a Jake Milford since 2019, as I explained at the start. More than 2/3 of the players I met today were brand new. Were brand new to the team. So back in 2019, the only guys that were still there were, as you can imagine, the veterans, the core. It was Horvat, Besser, Pettersson, Miller, Hughes, Pearson, Demko, and Myers. Just 8 players. But then there were about 15 or 16 players who I met for the first time today. Dermott, Rathbone, Garland, OEL, Lazar, Joshua, Podkolzin, Mikheyev, Kuzmenko, Hoglander, Martin, Dickinson, Pullman. I met all those guys for the first time today. Also got to speak with Patrick Alvin, with Jason King, Mike Yeo, and Bruce Boudreau. So I want to tell you about 5 or 6 stories. They're quick stories. Don't worry, we're not going to be here all night. But 5 or 6 quick stories, and then I'll turn it over to you. But what you got to realize is, as volunteers, and it's very hard to volunteer. It's not elite. It's not exclusive, but once you get in, it's hard to get in. So once you get in, you never want to mess that opportunity up. And I've been going for 6 years, as I mentioned. And so they say, no taking pictures with the players, no selfies, and no asking for autographs, which was fine with me. As much as I love being around the players, I'm not a big selfie guy, believe it or not. As much as I love being in front of the camera, I'm not a big autograph guy. I like sitting there and talking to these guys. And I realize as I get older, I'm 48 years old, these guys are younger and younger, and they're closer to my son's age of 21, Sean, as opposed to my age of 48. Well, there's no 48-year-old NHL players. Okay, enough of that. So here are the stories that I want to share. So the first cool story, Spencer Martin. So I'm helping him. So usually I don't see the player, like the players drop off their bags, they tag them, they go park their car, and then maybe I get to talk to them later. But Spencer Martin was looking for something in his cart, so I walked him to his cart, and then I said, congratulations on the new contract. I look forward to see you had a great run last year. I hope you have a really great season this year, backing up Thatcher. And then I was telling him, he goes, "Oh, what do you do? How are you involved?" I was telling him I'm a season ticket holder. I do music for the team, and that I'm a Canucks vlogger as well. I have a YouTube show. And then he said to me, and unless he was BSing me, which I have no reason why he would do that, he actually said to me, "Yeah, my family and I have watched your shows before." So this is pretty cool. An NHL player like Spencer Martin, he acknowledged that he's seen my show before. And I've had this experience before where Bo Horvat's dad, as many of you know, Tim, he's told me that he's watched my show before as well, which is pretty cool. So I have Spencer Martin telling me that he's watched my show. And so I thanked him. I was very, very taken aback, and I was very flattered and humbled. And I said, "Oh yeah, so I have this running joke about you, Spencer, about how, that when you make a save with your pads," and then I'm not saying he finished my sentence for me, but he was basically acknowledging, he knew what I was going to say, that when he makes a save with his pads, that it echoes, it reverberates throughout the arena. And I've said many times on my show here before, it's like he's got a microphone lodged in his pads because he makes such loud saves. So we had a good chuckle about that. And he goes, "Yeah, it's probably the Bauer pads that I have and whatever." So that was my first encounter with Spencer Martin. He was so cool, so gracious. And he said that he's watched my stuff before. So that's pretty cool. Again, if he was BSing me, that's fine. But if that's, I don't think he was. I just got the sense. So that was a cool experience. Another one was Curtis Lazar, which was neat because he's brand new to the team, and in essence, I got to help him load up his cart. Actually, I think he was renting clubs or borrowing clubs. So he just walked up and he handed me his shoes. That's it. He didn't even hand me his golf clubs. So he goes, "Can you put this in my cart for me?" So I actually had a bag on my right shoulder, a bag on my left shoulder. So then I grabbed Lazar's shoes, and then he goes, "Sorry, man, that or thanks for doing this." And I said, "No problem. I have no problem putting my hand in your shoes. So it's just one of those. That's not the best story ever now that I think about it, but it was just kind of cool that Lazar is so down to earth. Boudreaux was hilarious. So Boudreaux, I said to him, hey, I've just started I said, I'm Clay Emo, I'm Canuck Clay, and you recorded my intro for me. And he goes, yeah, how's that going? I hope people like it. I said, oh, they really like it. When I first played it, they were very surprised. And then I actually pulled up one of my shows, and I showed him the whole 30-second intro with the 10-second countdown, and then him saying, hey, this is Bruce Boudreaux, head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary Live. Let's go with Clay right now. See, you can tell I memorized it. So that was really cool for Boudreaux to he didn't know who I was at the time, but now he can put a good-looking face to the name of who he made his intro for. So the fact that I showed Bruce the intro of him, that was pretty funny as well. A couple other stories real quick. I had a really neat chat with Jack Rathbone, and I really like him, and I've always liked him, and I hope that I truly hope that he makes the team. Really good chat. You know, my new favorite player out of this, or a player that I had no clue and I learned a little bit about, was Travis Dermott. I met Dermott during the tournament. Then I also met him afterwards when he was loading up his car and we were just talking about stuff. And a really good chat with Travis Dermott about left side versus right side. And he said that he will play either side if it means moving up the lineup. He'd rather play on the right side as a second pairing guy if it means it's more minutes than a third pairing left shot guy. And we were talking about OEO versus Hughes moving over to the right. And then he basically said that some of the most fun he had last season was when he was put on the right side, playing with Quinn Hughes, who's on the left. And Boudreaux put them together when he wanted to generate offense. So that was pretty cool. Travis Dermott was so down to earth. I really hope that he sticks, he plays well, makes the top four, and he sticks around because I really, really like him. Got a chance to say hi to Myers, Pearson, Hughes, and Besser, and Horvat as well. The only three players that I didn't get a chance to talk to today, either a hello or how are you, was Pettersson, was Miller, and was, I'm missing one. Pettersson, Miller, and, or was it just those two maybe that I didn't get a chance to talk to, Jen? Yeah, just Pettersson and Miller. I saw, and Demko. Pettersson, Miller, and Demko were the only three players that I didn't get a chance to talk to, which is fine. And one other story I talked about at Canucks After Dark, the three Russians were pretty funny. Podkolzin, Kuzmenko, and Mikheyev. Obviously, they've been doing a lot together since the other two guys have gotten in town, or since they've all returned to Vancouver or settling in Vancouver. And they so badly wanted to play together. They wanted to play together in the same foursome. And then some of the organizers of the tournament were saying, no, the whole point is that there's one Canuck player in every foursome. We spread all you guys out kind of thing. So I think they're pretty insistent, not petulant at all. They're just insistent. And I get it. Maybe they don't golf a lot. Maybe it's still language barrier and comfort level. I get all that. But in the end, they gave in or whatever it was. And they were kind of split up. But I got the chance to talk to Podkolzin and Kuzmenko afterwards, and Mikheyev, actually all three. And I said, great season to Vasily. I said, welcome to Andrei Kuzmenko. And I said, welcome to Ilya Mikheyev as well. So overall, it was pretty good. I think someone who was younger, I wouldn't say less mature than me, just someone who was really into this would have gone. When you go for your first time, I remember there is a bit of a fanboy in me that says, wow, it's kind of cool. I'm here with Pettersson and Hughes and Besser and Horvat and all those guys. But, I just got an Amber Alert. Interesting. But after doing this for 6 or 7 years, not because I'm too cool or whatever it is, but I'm very respectful of them and try to talk to them more as normal adults, human beings who are really, really good at playing hockey. So there we go. Yes, I just got the Amber Alert as well. Edmund, very scary, and I hope oh man, in Vancouver, 3 years old. Gosh, that's scary. Okay, so we got the first time we've got an Amber Alert on one of my shows. So thank you for indulging me. That was my experience volunteering at the Jake Milford Charity Golf Classic. At this time, this is where you can start to put your questions in the chat, either about my experience or anything else you want to talk about today. I want to give once again a thank you to my sponsors. My lead sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. Also, to Coach Patrick and the team at Perform and Transform, personal training and weight loss. You can sign up now, always, for a free 7-day trial using the link that you see flowing across your screen, performandtransform.ca/CanuckClay. Also, to Gassy Jack Art, maker of this fine artwork, to Monkey Nine Brewing, my eternal sponsor, and to Vessi Shoes. Use the code CanuckClay for a $15 discount off of Vessi footwear. Thanks again, sponsors. Now, let's get to all of your questions. Fangirl, do you think the Canucks sign another PTO this week? No, I don't. I think they are done. Chroma, according to Friedman, the Canucks and Horvat are not close on a contract extension. If he leaves, who do you think would be the next captain of the Canucks? So we're not talking about the contract itself. If Horvat leaves, I could see Ekman Larsson being the captain. He's been a captain before. I could also see JT Miller, given that he's going to be here. Actually, I think I see Miller. So I think Miller or Ekman Larsson would be the two leading candidates. Yes, Justin, Milano to the Flames. So the two Alberta teams, Edmonton signs Jake Virtanen to PTO. Sonny Milano goes to the Flames. Thank you, Lucas, for the donation. Thinking of volunteering at the Jake next year? Get your name in. That's a great idea. And thank you again for the donation. Edmund, which Canuck would you say wasn't the most talkative or he was the most shy? You know, all the guys I talked to. Oh, Jason Dickinson was another one I meant to mention. I told him that he had a really sweet end-to-end goal last season, and I was there for it. And I said, who's that against? And he goes, right away, he goes, San Jose Sharks. I said, oh, that's cool that you remember those things. And he goes, yeah, well, I didn't score many goals last year. So that one was easy to remember. So that was kind of funny. I like Dickinson a lot. Who wasn't the most talkative? Who was kind of quiet? Of the guys I met, I'm just looking at my list real quick. You know, I think it was the three Russian guys, quite frankly. It was the three Russian guys, and respectful of their, didn't want to blitz them by talking a mile a minute like I know how to do. So they're certainly polite, Edmund, but I'd say they were shy as well. Carol says, who's going to be the unsung hero? My early bet is Curtis Lazar. Harry, what are your thoughts on the players that were there, and what are they like for the new guys? Yeah, I didn't see the players together a lot because they were split in their different foursomes, but I think guys were definitely happy. I saw a lot of guys talking to each other, the Russians hanging out. So I think guys were happy to be. It's a beautiful day. How could you not enjoy the day itself? Nux fan, can anyone play in this golf tourney? Sure, if you pay $1,500. I think it is. A lot of companies do it too. Sponsors buy spots, but yes, you can sign up to play, but it costs $1,500. William says, heard maybe Wheeler from the Jets for Horvat. William, I have not heard that. And I'm not sure if I'd want... I need to think of what Wheeler's contract situation is like. Brian, what do you think about the Jake Virtanen PTO trout for the Oilers? I spoke about this a bit on Canucks After Dark. Sports is a very forgiving place. And you hear of these redemption story arcs in NBA, NFL, in the NHL. So once Virtanen was acquitted legally of the accusations, I wasn't surprised at all that a team was going to give him a shot. I'm not cheering against him. I'm not cheering for him. I'm very neutral in this. But so it's not surprising that a team did sign him because there's no risk really aside from reputation. And it's not surprising at all that it's the Oilers, quite frankly. Harry, would it be interesting to see if someone wore a Canucks jersey to the Milford tournament? So the Canucks, all the players wore a nice golf shirt, a dark blue golf shirt with the Canucks logo. And so no one was wearing jerseys, not even any of the volunteers. We get this nice, sweet jacket. Hey, Jay, Fan City Experts, Real Estate Oilers are the BC Reject Boys. If you're talking about Kane and Virtanen, yes, that is a start. Edmund, how was the food? I wouldn't know. I wasn't part of the big nice brunch. I just got volunteer type food and it was fine. I just had a hot dog for lunch, but I didn't really eat that much. I was too busy on the course and I like it that way. Fangirl best player interaction. I'd say 2, Spencer Martin and Travis Dermott. Tristan, did Pedersen, Miller, and Demko ignore you or the high security? No, neither. Because half the players went through on the canal side, which I was. Half the players went through on the ridge side, which I wasn't at. And Demko, Miller, and Pedersen all went through on the other side. It's kind of funny, actually. Most of the star players were on the other side. Demko, Besser, Horvat, Miller, Petey, Hughes, Ekman Larson. They were all on the other side, the other course. But I happened to see most of them either before or after. And all 3 Russians, yeah. So we had guys on our side like Garland and Pearson, Rathbone, Dickinson, we didn't have Dakota Joshua, Niels Hoglander. So we had fewer players on our side for sure. Yeah, you can volunteer for free or you can pay $1,500, Lucas. Do what you want. And Nuxan says he'll pay to play. Good. Justin, did you see Demko's response to the best and worst golfer on the team? He said Hogs was the best and Miller Brock was the worst. Most of the teammates said it was the other way around. Yeah, Hoglander got some love on the Canucks Twitter. I saw that, the Canucks Twitter account. And I've seen Miller and Brock. It looks like they can swing well, so that's funny. Jaskrin, did you talk to the Canucks players today? Not sure if you heard anything I just talked about for the first 15 minutes. But yes, I talked to many Canucks players today, Jaskrin. If you missed that, watch the first 15 minutes of this show. That's all I talked about, actually. Klimovich looked unreal. That's awesome, Spencer. AZ, hey Clay, sorry you tweeted about how Spencer Martin watches your show. Can you maybe give us some more on the conversation you had with him? So AZ, actually, I just talked about it about 10, 12 minutes ago. So if maybe you got in late or you missed that part, so go check around the 12-minute mark of the show once we're done, or you can do it right now if you want. And I detailed that conversation, but it was pretty cool. Chroma, do you think this is the year Besser finally breaks out? Yes, I do. I really do. I think sad, but the burden of his father's health and his passing now should be lifted from him. I do think that he's going to have a really good season. I really do. Adam talking about Vertanen says everyone deserves a second chance. I think a lot of people would agree with you. Harry, if you had a chance to play golf with any Canuck player at the Jake, who would it be? I think Miller would be very entertaining. Bo Horvat, I really respect. He's my favorite player right now. But Dermott was a lot of fun. Connor Garland was a lot of fun too. So I think anyone with a personality, they don't have to be the best Canucks player, but from what I saw, Garland, Dermott, those 2 guys definitely have good personalities. I think I'd really enjoy that, actually. And they can make fun of how sucky I am. Lucas, thank you for the donation. Says this, one of my colleagues who works at Canucks Sports Entertainment just DM'd me about how you got into volunteering for the Jake. My contact is Nat in 50/50, and she was there in the golf cart. Yes, I met Nat today. We had a nice chat. It's pretty hard, though, to get in, but they do take a few, obviously, like Nat, they take a few new people every year. For this tournament, it actually helps if you do 50/50 and other types of things first. It's very rare that you just get in and your first thing that you do is the golf tournament. I was lucky that way because they knew me from other stuff as well. Edmund Garland was fine. He was a lot of fun, actually. And I'm just, yeah, as you can imagine, I'm basically as tall as him. And Tristan says, what is Connor Garland like person-wise? Very, very talkative, very personal. I liked him a lot. And I told him that I hope he has a really good season this year. Justin, did you hear about the crazy riots last night at the PNE because Lil Baby had a mainline canceled? Yes, it was ridiculous. Everyone there rioting were Lil Babies for sure. Oh, I'll answer this first and then I'll talk about it. Jasper says, one player you want other than the Canucks in a Zoom chat? I think someone like Ovechkin would be hilarious. I think someone like Nathan McKinnon would be good. Stamkos, I really respect. Yeah, someone with a personality for sure. I would love that. And one thing I reminded of, I saw some media members too, Dan Murphy, Patrick Johnson, Bick and Randeepa, Sportsnet 650. But I had a really nice chat with Ian McIntyre. I've had McIntyre, Ian on my show before. We live a few minutes away apart from each other in Steveston. Really like iMac. I think he's really good writer, fair. And yeah, really nice chat with Ian McIntyre today. Does Garland look shorter in person? No, he looks as short as he looks. He's my height, 5'6", 5'7". Yeah, a lot of people asking about Garland. He was great. Fangirl, do you think Kayla would caddy there? I don't think she's interested. Great question, Fangirl, but I don't think Jacob or Kayla would be interested. Will I be at the Canucks game on November 1st? I doubt it, Harry. I don't think I'm going to that one. Yeah, because it's a Tuesday night, and I bowl on Tuesday nights. Yes, thank you guys for sharing each other about the Amber Alert. Very scary indeed. I think it was from the Children's Hospital was from the Amber Alert, of course. Chroma says Connor Garnett is the biggest beauty of all time. I hope I get to meet him one day. He's my favorite player to watch. Yes, I think he, like Besser, man. If Barland, I combine them. If Barland and Gesser have if Garland and Besser have great seasons, wow, take some pressure off the three centers and the three Russians. That'd be massive. That would be massive for sure. Jaskrin, are you going to the November 3rd game against the Ducks? I doubt it. That's not on my radar just yet, Jaskrin. And by the way, speaking of tickets, many of you have reached out to me, and I just posted on Facebook as well, so I'm going to get a lot more responses. But if you want me to send you my ticket lists, either Upper Bowl and Lower Bowl, I just typed it in the chat. Just send me a message to canuckclay@gmail.com. Chris, hey Chris, thoughts on Linus Karlsson's 2-goal performance tonight? I think he was one of the best players. Him, Nielsen, Klimovic all showed really well. I think Karlsson could be a call-up this year. I really do. Because he's mature compared to a lot of those young stars because of his age and experience. Edmund, fair to say Bruce is more fun too compared to Benning or Travis Green. Benning was very polite and cordial to me, so I have no problem with Benning. But yeah, he wasn't as animated. Travis Green, kind of similar, more calculated, as you can probably imagine. With Travis Green, I would talk a lot to him about my cousin Dusty because he knows him. By the way, I talked to Ian Clark as well today. Oh, and Mike Yeo, assistant coach, excellent. He was a lot of fun. I like him as well. But yes, I think Boudreaux was definitely more personable. Ricky, renewed my quarter seasons last week. Very excited. Hope to see you around, brother. Of course, Ricky. That is awesome. That is awesome. I will definitely connect with you at the games for sure. Harry, which current Canuck player would you bring on if you had a chance to? For this show, if I had a chance to, if I wanted views, I'd bring in Petey or Miller or Horvat. If I wanted the best conversation, I think it would be Miller or Travis Dermott. Travis Dermott's hilarious, you guys. I really, really like him. Or Connor Garland. Anyway, by the way, I talked to John Garrett as well, which was a lot of fun. Chroma says Garland could have a breakout season. I would love it. Justin's saying about the home opener. Yeah, someone just texted me about my home opener tickets. Adam, why is no one talking about Bruce? I'm just as excited about our amazing coach. Yeah, he was great. He was having a lot of fun today. Tristan says, can I do a Zoom with John Shorthouse? Easier said than done, but I will keep that under advisement. Spencer, how would Ethan Bear fit in the Canucks defense if they acquired him? You know, we talked about this on Canucks After Dark earlier. Not a lot of people are high on Ethan Bear. They say he's not that fast. He turns the puck over a lot, doesn't make great decisions. So I'm not as high as maybe some other people may be. Jaskrin says, I hate how the home openers against Sabres. Yeah, but yes, it's against Sabres, but it doesn't always have to be a flashy team or a big rivalry game because I think people are going to be excited no matter what because it's the home opener. Harry, will Horvat have a breakout year? It depends what you mean by breakout. He averages 60 points a season, which is good for a second or third line center. Justin, did you hear New York traded Lundqvist to Dallas for a 2023 first? I think a 2023 first and a fourth round as well. He was one guy Canucks fans wanted from the Rangers in a potential Miller trade. Yes, a big asking price, though. I'm not sure the Canucks would be willing to part with that. Jamie DeFrog, nice to see you. Any inside news on the radio contract? No. And no one was talking about it today. Not that I was asking, but no, I do not have any inside scoop on the radio contract or the audio rights for the Canucks. Tristan, if you had to pick, who would you want to be related to NHL player? Related to? That's a strange question. But if it means access and cheering for them, I think maybe Cale Makar or Nathan McKinnon, because that is a pretty sweet team. I would love watching Colorado Avalanche games. So let's go with that. Spencer, I did not have work off today. Technically, I had to work because my workplace did not give the day off, but I took the day off to volunteer at the golf tournament. Crosby or Ovechkin? I'll take Crosby. Tristan says he is friends with Bear. Very cool. Chroma says apparently the Canucks are offering Horvat 5 to 6 a season, and Horvat's can't want 7 or 8. Yeah, Frank Zervelli said the negotiations may have started with the Canucks offering a number that starts with 5. It could be 5.9. Let's say Horvat's can't want 7 to 7.5. Then maybe they meet in the middle at around 6.5 to 7. But remember, it is a negotiation. Hopefully, no feelings were hurt, and they recognize that business is business. Pat, I love these hypotheticals. If you were to have a weekly permanent guest, would you rather have Rutherford, Dhaliwal, Friedman, or Luongo? What an excellent question. Luongo is my favorite all-time player. Friedman is a really well-respected insider. Dhaliwal, local insider and a lot of fun. And Rutherford, he's a straight shooter. In order, I think, as much as I love Luongo, because he's not as, I don't know how much he knows about the current Vancouver Canucks, I put him fourth, as much as I love him. I put maybe Rutherford third, Friedman, no, maybe I go Friedman 1 and Dhaliwal 2, or Dhaliwal 1 and Friedman 2, either or, and then Rutherford 3, Luongo 4. Great question. Who retires first, Jumbo Joe or Crosby? I think it's got to be Joe Thornton. I'm surprised that guy can still play. Spencer, did you catch any of the Young Stars games? No, I didn't, actually. I mentioned that on Canucks After Dark. Was unfortunately unable to see any Young Stars games, but definitely saw some highlights, saw some of the box scores, read some stories, but no, was not able to catch any of the games themselves. Okay, friends, I will go for 2 more minutes. So last 2 minutes of questions, and then I am going to wrap up. And I'm so happy that this was mostly a glitch-free stream. Although yes. Chroma, I think people are underrating the Mikheyev ad. I hate the Leafs and would find a way to underrate their players, but I've always been a fan of him, and he has some of the best analytics on the team. Yeah, I think he could, playing with some more talented players, not just stuck on a third or fourth line, I think he could continue to produce Chroma. I think that's a really good take. Taylor says, I'm so stoked for the season. Hockey has been missed. I agree. I'm excited too. Lucas says, I have a funny story regarding a Canucks player interaction. It was Besser. Go for it. Dhaliwal can barely spell his name, says Adam. Sidhu says, when Virtanen got those allegations against him, a part of me hated him due to the allegation. Now that he's proven not guilty, I feel bad about hating him. I wish him the best in Edmonton. Yeah, I think some people will feel how you do, Sidhu, and others will still not give him the benefit of the doubt and not like him for what he was accused of in the first place. Fangirl says, favorite pastime when you're not working? Definitely spending time with my family. And if I'm not doing that, it's YouTube or it's music or it's sports. And I'll end off with this comment from Lucas. Brock Besser was in Team Store with his family, and of course his dog was yipping like crazy when I was in line when I was getting something. It was really funny. I get it. I'm a dog person. Oh, so Besser's dog was yipping at you. Very cool. And lastly, we'll end with this one. Sam, I was on the ice today with my team, and the skills coach for the Delta Hockey Academy does skills training for the Canucks, and Pedersen and Myers came out, and we got to play with them. Oh, so Sam, while I'm here bragging about hanging out with the Canucks on the ice, on the golf course, you had Pedersen and Myers come out and skating with them. That's pretty cool. What time was that then? Because they were at the golf tournament from 12 to 5, so they must that must have been before or after. Okay, friends, thank you. Thank you for being with me here tonight. I appreciate you. As always, I want to give a thank you to my moderators. Great job. It seems like you don't have to do too much during these streams, which is a good thing, but I appreciate you nonetheless. To legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, thank you. And to Hall of Fame and franchise members, thanks to all of you as well. To my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform, Personal Training and Weight Loss, I thank you. And I thank all of you that are watching tonight. Thank you for your time and your attention and your energy. For everyone who became a new subscriber tonight, and especially to everyone who donated, I appreciate you as well. I think that was mostly Lucas and Adam, and that is awesome. I appreciate your generosity as well. So tomorrow is Tuesday. That means it's bowling night. So I will spend, don't worry, not the whole 15 minutes, but I will spend the first bit of my stream tomorrow talking about how I do week 2 of our competitive bowling league. Remember, I got 6 out of 10 points last week, but our team only got 23 out of 50. We will see how much better I do tomorrow night. So as always, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, like this video on your way out. There's 65 of you in here. We have 19 likes. Let's bump that up before we leave. So hit the like button on your way out. You can always leave a comment. You can always become a member, upgrade your membership. You can always leave a donation. All those things I appreciate. But most importantly, I appreciate that you were here today. So whether you're watching here on YouTube or listening on the podcast, thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy and spending some of your nights with me here on YouTube or on the podcast format. So as always, as I get ready for my ending here, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. And I got to tell you, my wife Gail thinks it's really weird that I stare at the window during a heavy rainstorm. I just stare at the window. But I told her it'd be a lot less weird if she actually just let me in the house. God bless, and go Canucks go. Booyah.